73%. That is the percentage of AI initiatives in owner-managed businesses in Switzerland, Germany, and Austria that, when honestly evaluated 18 months after the investment, did not deliver what was promised, not fail dramatically, not caused a crisis, just quietly did not succeed. The money was spent, the time was spent, someone presented slides about transformation, and then, very gradually, the tool sat unused. The consultant moved on, and the team went back to doing it manually, except now with a slightly more complicated process and a slightly more skeptical attitude toward anything called artificial intelligence. It seems like some of you recognize this pattern. My name is Gilbert Cesarano. I often work with owner-managed businesses in the German-speaking region on the AI things that actually work. And I am going to spend the next minutes in being the most honest during this time you have had about AI for your business, which means I am going to start immediately by telling you everything that is wrong with this kind of talk before you have to think it yourself, if this is okay for you. I know what some of you are thinking, because I would think exactly the same things if I were in your position. So let me say them out loud so we can move past them. You might be thinking, this is going to be another technology person telling me AI will change everything, and nothing they say will be specific enough to actually be useful. You might be thinking, we already tried AI and it did not deliver what was promised, and I am not sure why I would expect this conversation to be different. You might be thinking, this is a lead generation exercise, and at some point there will be an offer, and I am already slightly annoyed about that. And some of you might be thinking, I am not even sure AI is right for my business at all. I am here because someone I trust said I should watch this. All of those are fair, every one of them. So here is what I commit to for the next 15 minutes. I am going to give you specific things, specific numbers, specific patterns, specific stories from real businesses. I am not going to tell you AI is going to save your company, and I am not going to tell you what the businesses I genuinely cannot help look like. So you can self-select yourself out early if that is you, and we both save time. At least to me, it seems like that is a reasonable way to begin. A brief word about who I am, because you will be evaluating whether what I say is worth taking seriously and that evaluation is correct. I will not give you credentials or show you logos. What I will tell you is what the people I work with actually experience. Imagine a 42-person professional services firm in Zurich or Zug. Weekly performance report, 3 hours every Monday, compiled manually by the managing director, without exception, for years. That report now arrives in his inbox at 06:45 every Monday morning. He spends 40 minutes reading it, makes 2 decisions, and begins his first meeting fully informed and with focus. He told me he went to the gym on a Monday morning for the first time in 4 years. A 28-person marketing agency in Berlin or Munich. 14 clients, each receiving a manually compiled weekly report, 3 hours per report, by the 3 most senior account managers in the business. Those account managers now spend 14 minutes total reviewing all 14 reports, which were prepared overnight, automatically, and were waiting in 14 inboxes before anyone arrived at the office. A 34-person B2B software company in Munich. Average time to find the relevant information for a complex support case, 45 minutes from scratch by every support agent for every complex ticket. That search now takes 8 seconds. Client satisfaction improved by 34 points in 3 months. It seems like those numbers are more specific than you expected. Good. Because specific is what we deal in here. Would it be ridiculous to say that your Monday mornings are not quite how you imagined your business would feel by now? My experience so far, most people I ask say no, because they built something genuinely successful, but somehow it came with a Monday morning that feels more like operational management than strategic leadership. Nobody ever intended that. It just happened while they were busy building it. Here is the honest description of where most successful DACH businesses sit right now. You built something real. You know your industry. You know your clients. The business works. It runs. It delivers. People depend on it. And somewhere along the way, it developed a ceiling. not a market ceiling, not a talent ceiling. A ceiling made of the operational overhead that nobody ever systematically removed because the business was always too busy growing to stop and address it. It seems like that is not a foreign concept for most of you. Am I right? Before I can show you what works, I need to show you what fails, and more specifically, which of 5 structural patterns caused your previous AI experience to not deliver what it should have. Because here is what I observe about the German-speaking business owner's relationship with AI in 2024 and 2025. You are not naive. You did not invest because you were swept up in hype. You invested because the demonstration was compelling, the logic held, and the business case appeared reasonable. And then something went wrong that the demonstration did not predict and the vendor did not explain. In general, there are 5 patterns. One of them is almost certainly yours. Pattern 1, the data gap. The tool worked perfectly in the demonstration. The demonstration used clean, structured, cooperative data. Your business runs on 12 years of real operational history, inconsistent naming conventions, the CRM set up by someone who left 4 years ago, the Excel file that evolved across 6 different people's ideas of what a spreadsheet should look like. The AI met your real data and produced unreliable results. The team started checking everything manually. Checking took as long as the original process. The tool was quietly abandoned. No formal postmortem was held because it felt more like a quiet failure than a clear mistake. A quiet failure. Does it sound familiar? Pattern 2, the missing quality gate. The system produced output, but there was no mechanism to verify the output was correct before it reached a human who would act on it, or a client who would judge the business by it. AI systems do not hesitate. They do not say, "I am not certain about this one." They produce the wrong answer with exactly the same confidence as the right one. 2 or 3 incidents where an error reached a client, that is enough to permanently destroy a team's trust in the system, not because the technology failed, because the deployment lacked the validation layer that any responsible implementation requires. Pattern 3, the wrong process. The process that was automated was impressive to demonstrate. It involved something sophisticated sounding that made for a good slide. But it was not the process that actually consumed the most valuable time or created the most expensive bottlenecks in the business. The ROI calculation was never done before the commitment was made. Impressive is not the same as impactful. Which of those 5 was yours? Be honest. Otherwise, let me understand one thing. What does your business do on Sunday evening while you're trying to be a person? Could you answer that question? If not, then think about it for a moment and let me then know what your answer is. Also, feel free to comment below or click on the link in my bio and use our contact form. But if I were you, I would start dealing with my fears on that and position myself on the right side because all the others are already doing that. And the later you act, the less advantages you will have and most likely experience heavy disadvantages. I wish you all the best, and I firmly believe that together we can do business and achieve much more and realize all your goals. Best regards, and until next time.